Gaming on Netflix using your smartphone. How did we even reach this point? It doesn't really surprise me though. Netflix has a history of risky ideas and game-changing innovations. But like any success story, Netflix has had its fair share of problems lately. At a certain point, a lot of people were even predicting that Netflix will collapse. Shareholders are panicking, subscribers are leaving, and fans are canceling the shows online. But hey, is it actually that bad? And didn't Netflix already face something similar in the past? We'll chat about how Netflix started, how it changed the industry, and the problems it's facing now. Make sure to watch until the end, because I'll be asking people on the streets what they think about the changes that Netflix has made lately. Let's start with a brief history. Imagine this. 1997. To rent a movie, customers had to visit video rental stores, browse limited selections, wait in line, and pay for a set number of days. Late fees were common if customers forgot to return movies on time. And overall, the process was very inconvenient and time-consuming. And this is when Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph thought, why should people go through all this hustle to enjoy movies? There must be a better way. So they founded Netflix, a DVD by mail rental service. Instead of going to a store, people could order movies online and have them delivered right to their doors. No more late fees, no more limited choices. It was a game changer. In 1999, they introduced their subscription model.
There's a better way to rent movies. As many as you want for just $20 a month, and no late fees.
In 2 years after the official launch of the company, something significant happened. Something that is often cited as one of the biggest missed opportunities in the history of the entertainment industry. In the year 2000, Netflix went to Blockbuster, which was the biggest store chain of renting movies back then. They said, hey, how about we sell you this online movie renting business for $50 million? For the record, Netflix is now valued at around $200 billion. But you know what Blockbuster did? They laughed Netflix out of the room. They thought that online movie rentals were a silly idea. Who needs this when you can just come to our stores? Right, who needs this?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Now, most people would have given up and thrown the idea away. But not Netflix. They saw that love as a challenge, which made them work even harder to innovate and make a difference. Not surprisingly, in the mid-2000s, Blockbuster tried to keep up with the changing market and compete with Netflix. In 2004, they started their own online DVD subscription service.
Netflix increased prices by 60%, but they're not the only game in town. Say hello to Blockbuster. They deliver movies right to your mailbox, too.
However, Blockbuster had a lot of debt and internal problems, which made it hard for them to do well online. Netflix, on the other hand, kept getting more subscribers. And by 2006, 6.3 million Americans were using their service. Things seemed good, but Blockbuster was still around. In that same year, Blockbuster came up with Total Access.
With Netflix, to get new movies you can only return by mail. And wait. But with Blockbuster Total Access,
Hey, I don't have to wait.
you can also return movies at the store and exchange them for new ones, no extra charge.
This made Netflix quite worried, because Blockbuster was becoming stronger. However, Blockbuster's massive debt and internal issues eventually made them fall. Interestingly though, it was a very close battle, and Netflix was almost in trouble at that time. Reed Hastings, one of the co-founders of Netflix, even said that if it hadn't been for their debt, they could have killed us. In 2007, Netflix started a video-on-demand service that changed everything. They brought us streaming, which means you could watch movies and TV shows online without waiting for DVDs to come in the mail.
It's an amazing service that lets you watch unlimited movies and TV episodes instantly.
It's easy.
It's easy to use.
I think the UI is really nice.
The user-friendly interface.
Just the ease
click.
of it.
Click and watch.
Plus, let's not forget about the pricing. It was just right. Netflix made entertainment accessible without breaking the bank.
Best of all, Netflix is only $8 a month.
And that's something that really clicked with people. It wasn't just about watching your favorite shows and movies. It was about making it easy and affordable.
It's quite cheap, as you can watch all the time and you have only to pay not that much of money, especially when you compare it to the cinema, which is expensive.
The pricing is like not the worst. It's not cheap, but it's also not like an insurmountable amount of money.
But they didn't stop there. In 2013, they decided to do something new, making their own shows and movies. It was like they became a movie studio and a TV network all in one. Now, when you wanted something unique and exciting to watch, you knew where to go: Netflix.
Before, I went a lot of times to the cinema, and I don't do it so often because of Netflix, literally.
And here's a cool part. Netflix didn't just use their smart algorithms to recommend you their existing content. They used it to create their own. They knew what we wanted before we even knew it ourselves. That's why you see shows like Stranger Things and The Witcher. They were born from these clever predictions.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Netflix?
Original content, I think.
I think the content is really exclusive because you have scenes from all around the world, right? For me, that's really beautiful.
Lots of variety, lot of different cultures to see. If you go towards other culture, you will find a different concept which not that much explored in the Hollywood or in my country.
We watch everything that they make, like Witcher, Wednesday.
During the pandemic in 2019 and 2020, Netflix saw its biggest boost in subscribers. Things were doing great. And while more people still keep joining, the rate at which the numbers are growing is slower than before. Things took even a more surprising turn in early 2022. Netflix shared that it lost 200,000 subscribers in just 3 months. It was the first time when they actually lost more subscribers than they gained in 1 quarter. The news hit hard. Netflix's stock price dropped by over 35%, the largest drop in the company's history. The following summer didn't bring much relief. In July of 2022, Netflix reported another hit. They lost 1 million more subscribers in the 2nd quarter of the year. On top of all of this, Netflix decides to raise its subscription prices. Of course, this move didn't help keep people around. Some more people decided it was time to cancel their Netflix subscription.
I've fallen, and I can't get up!
Well, what went wrong in the past few years? First of all, competition. They won the battle with Blockbuster, and they enjoyed a period of being the streaming monopoly. But then came companies like Hulu, Peacock, Apple TV+, Amazon, HBO, and Disney Plus with their own streaming platforms. They didn't just took viewers away from Netflix, they also took some of the content. For example, think about all the Disney movies. They're not on Netflix anymore, they are all on Disney Plus. The wide selection of content that once made Netflix stand out started disappearing.
Bye, have a great time!
Another thing to consider is the rising prices of streaming platforms. Not just Netflix, but all of them. While having 1 or 2 subscriptions is usually cheaper than traditional cable TV, recent analysis suggests that the combined cost of Netflix and Disney Plus can now be more expensive actually. It's definitely a shift from what made Netflix special in the past, and it gives the company a hard time. In May 2023, Netflix made a big decision that got people talking. They said they'd start cracking down on people who share their Netflix passwords.
No! God, please, no! No!
Here is why. At the beginning of 2023, Netflix found out that 100 million out of its 220 million subscribers were sharing their accounts with people who weren't in their household.
Tell us, do you have a Netflix account?
Yes.
Both of you?
One. No, I pay for it.
You pay for
and
it
I
and
use it.
I don't.
I also don't, but I'm also a leech. Yeah.
You just have someone else's account, you're using it?
My brothers, I'm just mooching on my brother's accounts.
This was causing Netflix to lose out on a lot of money, at least €500 million every month. So to stop this, Netflix said that if you want to share your password, you'll have to pay an extra monthly fee on top of your regular subscription. What's strange is that just back in 2016, Netflix's CEO, Reed Hastings, didn't seem to mind password sharing. He even called the practice a positive thing, because many sharers eventually got their own accounts. So there was this sort of relaxed approach to the issue. The next thing that caused some troubles was the introduction of subscription with ads. Now you can have a subscription and pay less money, but your account will be filled with commercials.
It kind of pisses me off because then it's just becoming cable, isn't it?
Before and after, I think it's okay because then I can watch the entire show together. But if it like between, I would hate it because I'm paying money for it. I don't want ads.
At the moment, we're not that bothered about the ads. We just pay the full subscription.
I mean, if I'm paying for something, I would say I would not go for the ads. Right? Like if it is just free, if they are providing free, I'm okay with even watching a 3 minutes ad. But if I'm paying for something, I mean, no ads at all.
I mean, maybe for me it would be a good choice. If I would have a shortage of money, I could still use Netflix, but with ads, it's not that bad idea, I think.
I think that having more pricing options is always a better idea than just having the one. If it makes it more accessible for more people, then sure.
Yeah, I think that's not good because you're paying already for a subscription, right? So if you're paying already, you shouldn't have the ads, right? The ads should be paid by the Netflix behind that, right?
If you are paying like €8 a month or like whatever the cost is at this point, I think it's somewhere around there. It feels very like double to also have to watch advertisements.
And it's not just ads. You see, I figured that this plan comes with other restrictions. For instance, some big shows like Breaking Bad, House of Cards, The Crown, and Peaky Blinders aren't available with it. They say that they might add more shows later, but who knows when and if. And here is what really bothers me about this plan. Netflix was all about watching without ads. You see, Reed Hastings was really into this idea. He wanted Netflix to be different from regular TV and other services that bug you with ads. It was one of the things that made Netflix special. Now, with this new plan, they're kind of changing their tune. They're putting ads in there, they're abandoning password sharing, and it feels like they're going back on what they used to stand for. It's like they're more interested in making quick money and pleasing their shareholders rather than keeping their loyal viewers happy. I totally get that business needs to adapt, but I think that Netflix needs to be really careful not to lose what made them special in the first place. It's been bad news after bad news, but it seems like everything changed recently. And finally, there is a light in the end of the tunnel for Netflix. Sure, a lot of shows and films are leaving Netflix, but a lot of the new ones are coming. Some of their original content is getting nowhere and making the company lose money, but some of the recent shows look quite promising. Sure, fans are really disappointed in the new password policy, but it seems to be working for everyone. The company reported that it added 13 million subscribers in the December quarter of 2023, its largest ever fourth quarter subscriber growth. Of course, a recent survey about the leader among streaming platforms shows that Netflix is not a clear leader in the industry anymore. But if you look at the chart closer, people are still on Netflix's side.
And how do you think Netflix is doing in the past years? Do you like what they're rolling out?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's all good.
We're continuing our membership, so...
A lot of shows like Heartstopper and all this kind of new series, like especially for young people, I really like, but also like they have like the old movies that I like to watch when I was a kid.
Got the Barbie movies.
Yeah,
Some of the Barbie
we're from Germany and now they're doing like all the new old Barbie movies and it's perfect.
I've also seen them, I agree.
Not that much that I liked the previous ones, for example 10 years ago, the Breaking Bad and so on. I think now the shows, they are very similar to each other. There are some things that have to be in a series because it won't come out that way. And I think it's taking away the originality of the series.
There's no words to it, right? Everybody knows it, like the work they do, it's amazing. Yeah, everything is good. I love Netflix for sure, yeah.
I watch Netflix much less than I used to before. Started to watch more anime last couple months, and Netflix doesn't have a big library of that, so...
At the moment, it just feels really hit and miss. Whereas like they started really good, and so now I think like when I first thought of Netflix, the brand identity was really strong. I think now when I think of Netflix, the brand identity is probably a little bit weaker, and I'm more likely to go for a different service.
Basically, I just watch YouTube now mostly. I get all my news there and some entertainment activities as well.
And finally, Netflix actually started looking at some completely new things, gaming on Netflix. Have you heard about it? You can now play Netflix games on mobile devices using your Netflix account. Basically, the process is very simple. You find a game you want to play in the Netflix app, install it on your phone or tablet, and start playing. Netflix is actually surprising its subscribers with new titles. I saw a lot of positive comments online. But despite this significant growth in 2023, with engagement reportedly tripling due to the success of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, the gaming division is still very small compared to the platform's movies and shows. Less than 1% of around 250 million subscribers played games daily, but Netflix plans to expand and invest more in games in the upcoming future. Overall, while it's an interesting move for sure, I'm skeptical about how well can Netflix execute gaming and whether it will truly enhance the user experience or will just feel as an unnecessary addition, you know? And to me, it's also a little bit like, tacos are great, but I ordered pizza for a reason. As I reflect on the current state of Netflix, it looks quite intriguing, yet somewhat unclear. Back in the day, Netflix was this pioneer in the world of entertainment. They weren't afraid to take big risks and try new things with their customers in mind. But now it seems like they've shifted their focus. They're doing things that other companies are already doing, like subscription with ads or password policies that we discussed. To me, it looks like they're focused on profitability in the short term, pleasing their shareholders, and just doing what's trendy. This makes me wonder if Netflix is still this awesome, customer-friendly, and creative company we all loved. Sure, they're trying to be pioneers in all this gaming stuff, but to me it feels like they follow this thinking, well, we need something to stand out, right? So, here, online games. I hope they can find balance between these new moves and what made them special in the first place. I think it's a bit of a puzzle right now, but I'm rooting for them to find a way back to their pioneering spirit and keep inspiring people like you and me. Are you? Are you rooting for them, or do you have a completely different perspective? I'm really curious to know, so let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, you might like the ones you see on your screens now even more, so consider clicking on them. And subscribe to my channel for more intriguing stories around media and entertainment. I hope to see you soon, guys. Пока-пока!